Test down. White sands, beautiful women, nice food. I don't think I'm coming back, man. Ain't coming back to the States, baby.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 in the place to be. I'm your host, Adam Milton, right now from years.
Sick Cuz the Governor.
On Bizzle,
And this is the Guess I Said podcast. We're having technical difficulties, but please bear with us. All right. Jigga Man, Sean Carter, well, Jay-Z, Jigga Man, and formerly known as Sean Carter, iconic in the hip-hop culture, iconic in the Black community, for better or worse. Every business move that he did, in my opinion, is very calculated. Some may disagree with it, and some may agree with it. Some may not respect some of his decisions in life, and I'm sure people out there, like everybody, have enemies, and some people have admirers. That's just life, right? But unfortunately, just like Bill Cosby, R. Kelly, latest P. Diddy Combs, and now Sean Carter, formerly known as Jay-Z. I kind of seen this coming. Pause. It's like a domino effect. And before we, get into speculations of, are they trying to bring down billionaires? Is this some type of conspiracy bringing down the Black billionaire? The case may be. Let's look at the reason why we're talking about Mr. Sean Carter. He's been accuser came out accusing him of the R word. A 13-year-old minor said this happened back in 2000, I believe, in 1999 or 2000, somewhere around that time. I have some speculations about this that in my opinion is going to make this civil suit looks very weak. And my thing is, why you're not filing for a criminal suit? I mean, Jay-Z brought out a statement immediately after these accusations came out from the accuser and said, basically, I don't have the note in front of me.
I got it.
Basically, I don't know if you want to read it. You can. If not, it's too drawn out. Let's just proceed on.
Yeah. So he said, my lawyer received a blackmail attempt called a demand letter from a quote-unquote lawyer named Tony Busby. What he had calculated was the nature of these allegations and the public scrutiny would make me want to settle. No, sir, it had the opposite effect. It made me want to expose you for the fraud you are in a very public fashion. So no, I will not give you one red penny. That's how he started it.
Basically. So that was very smart of Jay, because think about this. If it was the R word, why didn't you have the man locked up under the jail, right? And let's say, all right, let's I think we jumping the gun. Let's think about this. Young lady from Rochester, New York. She's 13 years old.
Okay.
First of all, Rochester and New York City is about 5 hours away. She said a friend drove her there, right? I forgot the name of the party. Y'all can look it up real quick, or the gathering. But drove her to this location where Puff Daddy and Sean Combs was allegedly at, right? 5 hours. She's 13 years old. Where's the parents in this situation?
Exactly.
Who is the driver? Who's the driver? 13-year-olds don't have licenses, bro. Exactly. So whoever drove her had to have been an adult. So they need to be brought up on accusations and charges as well. Okay. They say that this mysterious driver just disappears all of a sudden. Doesn't drive her back home. Right? Now, follow me here.
Right.
This mysterious driver, right, drives her 5 hours away from Rochester, New York, to New York City to meet up at a party or some type of some music gathering, right?
Yeah.
The Puff driver, allegedly, his limo driver, say, Out of everybody, you look like Puff type, right? Takes her to the party. She signs something, I forgot what it is, some type of letter of agreement or something like that, right? They make you sign. I forgot the name of the letter. Forgive me, y'all, for the lack of information. But we do know that minors cannot sign a consent letter.
Uh-huh.
It got to be an adult
Right.
to sign a consent letter. So that's false right there. That's a loophole. Okay, she meets Puff Daddy. She has something to drink. She feels woozy. She goes up in a room to lay down at a stranger's house, right? But before that, she said that she was a very religious person, and but she decided to get some of these kick-ass tattoos on her body, as the case may be, and she spoke to some celebrities.
One who witnessed.
Allegedly. Now these celebrities are going to have to come forward and say that she was at the place.
Mm-hmm.
The P Diddy Combs limo driver will have to show up in court. The alleged friend, or I think pimp or sex trafficker who drove her from one place to another, they're gonna have to show up. Now follow me here with this driver thing because it's not mentioned no more, right? But this is weird now. Hold on, follow me here. All right, let's fast forward. She's at the party, she drinks, she gets woozy, she's in the room. So Sean Combs and Sean Carter allegedly is in the room with Celebrity B, which is a female. Jay-Z allegedly has a way with her. Okay. And then when Puff gets on her, all of a sudden she can't take it no more. Then she hit Puff in the neck, Sean Diddy and Combs in the neck. He lets go. She stumbles out and runs out of the party, right? Okay. Calls her father up. This guy's father of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Calls her father up. 13-year-old young lady calls her father up. He rides from all the way from Rochester, New York to come pick her up. The first thing he takes her home. Now, where's the driver who came in with her? And so that's another question mark. Was it the father? Was it a pimp? Was it somebody who we don't know? Because this person never mentioned. But the father come pick her up instead of taking her to the hospital, because I know, we all fathers here except for Quan, but Quan can vouch because he has sisters. If it was somebody in my family, a female, especially my daughter, us as black men, two things gonna happen. We're gonna run up in there and turn their mother out. Right?
Right.
And we're gonna go to the hospital because check for injuries, check for STDs, and everything else. But the father drives her back home to Rochester, New York, and also reports that the father said he does not remember that incident.
Right, the father
he said now
when they did it, he didn't take her home.
Yeah, because he said if he said, "Wouldn't you think I would have remembered something like that?"
That's a major,
Exactly. So what you guys think? Is this a bunch of baloney?
And they thought they cash in. It sounds very cashable. given the celebrity lawyer and the things we've seen him involved with before. Then you also throw in the fact that this got the inconsistency. Like she admits to the fact, I don't remember some of these incidents right, or I got that part wrong. And then the part of it when they got video showing both of them, supposedly they're in different locations than where the woman described. So, but no one knows exactly where this event take place either. You see what I mean? So it's a lot of sketch with it. But see, here's the thing. Given all the story, given how publicized Diddy is and all the other drama that's been going on anyway in the entertainment, they understand the fact that this is believable enough. That's why they're going with the civil. Because you don't need to prove as much in the civil case as you need to prove it in criminal.
And it's smart that Jay-Z, and this what makes me believe Jay a little more, because he say if I should be underneath the jail, come lock me up.
Right.
And what Puff did, in my opinion, wrong with the Cassidy situation, he paid her. So that opened up a floodgate for people for the FBI to pick it up and say, okay, is he willing to pay this victim? So he must be guilty. And then later on, the tape shows that he did, physically abuse her. So that's all the little bit of evidence they need. What was smart from Sean Carter, he's like, I'm not paying you a dime, and I'm gonna write this letter that shows that you are known to shake down people in the industry and blackmail them. You know, we all know about blackmail, whether you did it or not. You just don't want your name out there looking bad,
Right.
and in terrible light. So I commend what Jay-Z did. Now, let's say this, let me say this first. I guess I'll say we're not calling anyone a liar or whatever. It's just that the facts, the story does not add up. Yeah.
Here's another thing too, though. In her defense, devil advocate, in her defense, at the age of 13, it's easy to get certain of these details off. It's easy to, but at the same time, you can also tell that there's a certain protection going on because she can't say who got her there, how she got to the place. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
what makes me think that it was probably a relative or an adult.
Yeah. Or an old enough kid or an old enough teenager, like say 18, 19, like old enough in the party scene, like an old enough cousin. Imagine an older cousin or an older friend or something like that that can get you down to this party. I heard Puffy gonna be there. I heard Jay-Z gonna be there. It's almost like a Huxtable type of a Cosby Show episode. That's what it reminded me of. That time, remember, it was Vanessa or something, and they went down there, they snuck out, and they wanted to go party down in the city or something like that. So it sounds like that. Sound like she trying to describe that scenario, but the details ain't quite adding up.
It ain't, because it's like, okay, Father of the Year, and I keep going back to this. Your 13-year-old been missing for 5 hours. Okay, granted, let's play devil's advocate. She may have lied to you and said that she was spending the night over a relative house. Like you said, it could have been a relative that drove her down there, right? It could have been a relative that influenced her to be in that type of lifestyle and nightlife, right? So it was a thing of the father being too loosely trusting of his child being out there at night. And let's dive even deeper. Where's the mother at? Is the mother alive?
Mm-hmm. And this,
does she have any say about this?
They said it's 2000, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So at that time, people was a lot more. Well, I wouldn't say. Yeah, I think they was a lot tighter than they were then. Now, when it came to what you let kids go do and let them be out here doing this and that, you know what I mean? I think people did not. They were not as. I think they were tighter back then than they are now. So I don't think that would have been an easy thing. And then especially given the fact that's his 13-year-old girl, not his 13-year-old son. It's one thing if it was a son. I know people say there's a bias, it ain't fair. But as a dude, your son is out trying to go do something, you kind of understand that, like, yeah, you just gotta be smart, you gotta be safe, because you know what I'm saying. But at the same time, you also know how easy it is for a woman to be taken advantage of. So you're gonna really worry about your daughter more so than you are your son. You figure, all right, well, I done showed him, I seen him try to squabble before. I told him I told him the basis of how to defend himself. You know what I mean? So he gonna go out there and try to do something. I hope he don't go do something crazy.
She's a young lady,
right? It's a different thing. So that's why I don't think that he would just forget. I forgot that night. Yeah. He just saying that the R word just happened and I forgot what happened. No, that's this like permanent. I'll always remember this for the rest of my life type deal, honestly, as a father.
Yeah. And again, like you said, females, as fathers, we look at them as more so, we're the protectors of them. We feel that, they can bring back home babies and stuff like that. And for somebody to drive, for somebody a 10-hour drive in a dark situation like that in life, you vividly gonna remember.
Easily.
And for the father to say, I don't remember, that's really killing her case.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
no hospital records. No hospital records. We don't even have a Monica Lewinsky situation going on. Because remember, what, a year or two, they caught the president's DNA on her blouse or whatever the case may be. Right. Where's the DNA proof at?
And any indication who this accuser is? Will they still keeping that?
That's the thing. That's the thing. I think it should be a law stated if the accuser should, and she's old enough now. I think she's like, well, she should be like 40 years old, 39, 40 years old. She should come out.
30, yeah, 35,
She
30.
should come out. And if she is, if her case is not proven, then it should be some type of retribution on Jay Z's behalf where he could sue her or whatever the case may be. Not saying that he would get anything from it, but he should, it should be a penalty for people so they just won't come out to woodwork trying to get a fast dollar. And I'm not saying that she's out here doing that, but I'm just saying for those who are out here trying to get a quick come up. And it's weird because the Super Bowl situation going on.
Exactly. Because you can't, certain charges, you can't, it's hard to, I don't care. You can't, first of all, it's impossible to prove yourself innocent, for one thing, because he can't go back in the past and prove it with a whole reel of tape and footage of himself 24 years ago for the whole 24-hour period of 48, whatever. He can't do that to prove that, yeah, I wasn't there, didn't do this. He can't. So mostly he gonna do is just go by his word and say, y'all gotta believe me because you don't have enough evidence. So then, given the fact that people are quick and want to just believe these things anyway, he understands it. That's why, like you say, that's a very smart move on his part to put that statement out the way that he did and say, why didn't you go after the criminal aspect of this instead of trying to go civil? So now they looking like they really have to come up with the evidence now to prove it.
Exactly. And we all know that Puff keeps all receipts, and it's going to be interesting. Quan Bizzle, what you think, Brian? I know you've been quiet over there.
So, you know what? I'm gonna let you know right now. It's a very tricky situation, especially knowing how Puff is in jail. The stakes are higher than ever. I think a lot of people thought Jay-Z was gonna be nervous going to this, but it seems that Jay-Z is very calculated actually, and how he's moving and everything. So I like what I see from Jay-Z so far. I know I'm announcing this like as an ESPN sports game or something like that, but I like what I see from Jay-Z so far. He's doing his thing. He's very calm, collected, and I think he just knows his cards. He's playing his cards right here. To be honest, for the alleged victim, of course, like, as anybody would say, anybody that has a heart, soul, if that actually did happen, shame on Jay-Z, regardless of his accolades of him being a legend. Shame on him, and anyone that was involved. But if not, definitely shame on these people, because a lot of these people, now that it's just by mentioning your name, it doesn't even have to be true, right? But just by putting your hat in the game, you know what I mean? That there's a big bag, there's a big profit from this, you know what I mean? Especially, things like this happen all the time when celebrities are accused of something, you know what I mean? So if you raise your hand and be like, yeah, me, Adam Ill Gov, also got touched by Diddy, and God forbid that, right? That's a quick 10K, you know what I mean? Quick 20K, so everyone is trying to get their bag. Because it's like, especially with the Me Too movement coming out, it's like, okay, oh, he got touched, that guy got touched, everybody's getting touched. So now, everyone's seeing this as a money hill.
Yeah.
Yeah, as a chance to, like monopolize off of this. So I feel like Jay-Z, he's handling his cards right. He's doing what he's doing, and he's playing very strategic right now. And I like what I see right now from Jay-Z. But like you said, right, Diddy has a way of keeping receipts, you know what I mean? So we're gonna see how this turns out, because it might turn out where the pressure is on Diddy and is on him too much, where it looks like it's already looking like he's not really coming out anytime soon, you know what I mean? So the pressure might be on him to spill the beans, and he might have those receipts. May not be Jay-Z, may be Jay-Z, may be a bunch of other celebrities. I know you guys seen those images and those images of him at his all white parties with the big mattresses and stuff like that, and Jennifer Lopez sleeping on the mattresses, and them having like a almost
Right.
sleepover, like the type of sleepover you would have with your friends when you were younger, right? But not that weird. Like you wouldn't match clothes and everything, like
Right.
what they got going on. So I don't know. There's a lot of celebrities we know in those Fast and Furious movies and everything that were there, and it's just
True.
you never know. It's looking pretty scary out here.
Mhm.
Yeah, I just want to know, like I said, our heart goes out to any victim who was, in a situation where they was the R word or they was taken advantage of, especially minors. You know what I'm
Of
saying?
course.
It just don't add up. 5-hour drive, and I'm speaking of the father. No hospital records. You don't take your daughter to the hospital. You drive 5 hours back to Rochester. That's 10 hours. So within that 5 hours driving back to Rochester, you don't have a long conversation. You're not angry. You're not upset. Oh, they're billionaires or whatever. Okay, still. Where's the medical records at? Because you want to know if, STDs or some body parts has been injured or pregnancy or anything.
Or some DNA or
but for him to
something.
say he doesn't, he doesn't
Okay.
recall none of that.
Okay.
That's weird. And then she said she talked to,
Also, okay.
that she
I just
talked to
pulled up
5
Rochester, right?
celebrities that night.
Yeah, they came from Rochester, right? So, Rochester, I just looking at the population of Rochester, like back in 2000. They said the population was about, say, 7,018 people. Here you go. 95%. Hold on, I want to make sure I'm reading the right thing. Because it looked like the demographics say that the racial makeup of the town remained predominantly white, 93.5%, down from 95.8%. So, given that, I'm guessing, because I was wondering in my mind whether or not the accuser was white or black. Judging by this, it sounds like she may be white. If she's white, the father not calling the police, I don't believe that at all. I don't believe it at all. If she went down to this, she going down to the rappers party down in the city, right? And then the daughter's calling the father in the middle of the night, Dad, they are worried me. You're not calling the police, especially
Yeah.
given the way that they think. Come on now.
You're not making a scene at the party. Here's my thing again.
May not be able to do that. He might be afraid. All right, these might be a bunch of
Right.
characters in here. You know what I mean? Because if he don't know better, because
Yeah. It could be
imagine if we out in Arizona somewhere and we figured that we, like the Hells Angels or something, like bikers or something. You know what I mean? We're not just gonna walk up on there casually, knowing the fact that 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 type of artillery is there, that you know how they roll. You see what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I get you. I understand 100%. Like the harm going to outweigh the benefit. I don't care how angry you are,
Right.
unless you're going to come back with your own squad
Right.
and do your thing.
So
police is the next sensible thing to do.
Right. As a civilian, 9 times out of 10, he gonna call the police. We gonna go to the hospital. We gonna report this to some type of authority. We gonna prove that this is what happened to her. You see what I mean?
Exactly. And so far there's no, again, who drove her back, who drove her down there.
Yeah.
The 5-hour drive. They just disappeared. They just run off. Right. Okay. Sean Combs, limo driver. Where was he at? No names.
Nope.
You meet 5 celebrities in this establishment, right? This gathering.
Right.
I think she did mention the names of the celebrities she talked to, and that may go against her favor as well because none of them came forward to say, yeah, we agree, we support what she said.
Because they can't even prove they're all there.
And who would celebrity be? There was a female that was in the room with Sean Combs and Sean Carter.
Right.
So it's just a lot of loopholes. And again, DNA.
Her evidence, but they let her go home. If you go home and take your shower, that kills a lot of the DNA evidence when it comes to that.
Yeah. So I mean,
that's why they say you gotta go to the hospital. Even though, as much as a woman would not want to do that, they feel dirty. That's what they say after the fact. They were like, "No, you gotta go to the hospital. That way, they can go get all the check that they need to do, so we can find out and prove."
I just think Tony Rusby, the lawyer that's defending the young lady, I don't think he thought this all the way through. He thought he probably get a quick $1 million or $2 million from Jay-Z. Oh, that's no money to a billionaire. We're gonna get you a quick check. Right. He don't want this out in the public. The Super Bowl is about to come up. He's about to he's hosting a halftime show. He's in charge of that. He don't want his name to look bad in public. But it didn't work.
A lot of coming out.
And who's the head of the Super Bowl? Who's the commissioner? Roger Odell, is that his name?
Goodell, Roger Goodell.
Goodell. I don't think that he's going to drop Jay-Z from the Super Bowl thing because that means if he drops Jay-Z, that means he drops Kendrick, and that's not happening. And we all know the Super Bowl. I mean, I said the Super Bowl. We all know the NFL is not a stiffer on these allegations. Look at the guy from up there in Pittsburgh, Roxburgh, whatever his name is. I can't pronounce his name.
I remember.
Yeah, he been accused of.
Yeah, some pretty. Same thing.
You know.
Same thing. But yeah, they try to walk away from NFL. But hey, that's another thing. Speaking of which, this is the entertainment world. We saw it in the music. We saw it in Hollywood in the movie business. We found out that it was going on. Now we found out in 2024 that it was pretty rampant in the music business, but we kind of knew that too. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't be surprised as the sports start to come out. We're gonna hear more about the sports atrocities. As they're gonna start to come out more next year. I wouldn't be surprised. No.
Yeah, but I thought this was like some type of conspiracy. I can barely hear you, go. You chopping up.
Okay. I ain't saying nothing.
You back on? I can't hear you. Hello?
Yeah, he's back on.
Oh.
Yeah.
They're chopping up. I don't think Roger Goodell, if I'm pronouncing his name right, that's not going to stop the halftime Super Bowl show. Given the history of former NFL players who were accused again and pleaded guilty, we can look at the NBA with I forgot his name, but he was a sports announcer. He pleaded guilty. He admitted to sodomy. I think so. And he admitted to sodomy, and the NBA 2 years later rehired him. So
after it died,
once again, us against our said, we do not condone the R word or misuse or taking advantage of minors or any female or anybody of the sort. Hopefully, if there is justice, if she is right, I hope that she gets the full extent of retribution. And if she's wrong, she need to be at the flip side of it. She need to be taken account to the fullest.
Right.
Any last words before we drop this particular topic?
I was gonna say that's too much. Yeah, they're not gonna cancel Kendrick and them. That's too much of a big of a bag. Especially Kendrick had a good year. No, that's a big bag they're gonna miss out on. So them at last minute switch their plans. Who they gonna switch with? Lil Wayne. So I mean, no, they're not. Nah, yeah. I think Jay-Z already had a backup plan for this. That's not stopping his bag whatsoever. I'll leave it on that.
That's some major.
Yeah, I agree.
They're gonna drop something else on them.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Like I say, we almost foreseen this. Like, Cosby, R. Kelly, Sean Combs, Jay-Z, Kanye was in that light a little bit. They stung him, kept him quiet a little bit. But we seen that from a mile away, man. You know what I'm saying? So this in the segment, guess I said, I'm your host, Adam Mill. To the right and left of me is
Sick Cuz the Governor.
Juan Bizzle, man. You already know what's up.
And we are for the culture. Trust and believe it. You know what I'm saying? We're definitely for the culture. As black as culture as us. Yeah, man. We on to the next one, dealing with the death, execution of CEO, what's his name? This head of United Healthcare. We'll talk on that next. Yep. And we just want to know if what's his name? Luigi? What?
Mangione.
How you pronounce his dude's name, man?
Mangione.
Mangione from Towson, Maryland, right?
Yeah.
Was he a hero vigilante, or was this done in a cold-blooded act? That's next. Peace.
Indeed.
Yeah. Let this test down. White Sands.